Welcome again. I want to thank you for going with us on this journey, day number 2 of the 8-minute challenge. I want to encourage you today. What you're doing is awesome. What you're doing is going to produce good fruit for your life. What you're doing is honoring God by slicing out this time to seek His face, to honor Him, and to pray before His presence. Yesterday we spoke a little bit about Psalm 34 and verse 8, and I wanted to go just a few verses before that. This is Psalm 34, verses 4 through 7. And if you could just read this along with me or listen to it as I read it. It says in verse number 4, I sought the Lord and He answered me. He delivered me of all my fears. I love that because how can we expect to hear from God? Or how can we expect to receive from God? Or how can we expect for God to do something on our behalf if I first don't go before Him? If I first am not seeking Him? Selecting these 8 minutes every day this week, it's exactly what we're doing. We're going before God to simply seek His face. And when we do that, we can trust that God will move on our behalf. He will do things for us that perhaps we cannot even do for ourselves. Verse 5 says, those who look to Him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. It's a promise from God that when we seek Him, we will not be shamed by Him. As a matter of fact, we will be lifted up, we will be encouraged, and we will advance because of the blessing of God upon our lives. Verse 6 says, this poor man called, and the Lord heard him. He saved him out of all his troubles. And the psalmist is speaking about himself. He says, man, this poor man, me right here, this poor man called, and the Lord heard me, and He delivered me out of all my troubles. And I think that as we start to pray and build the prayer life in our own lives, we're going to come to know God in this way. We're going to come to know Him where we too will be able to say, man, this poor man cried out to God and God heard him. God heard me and God came through for me. He delivered me from my troubles. But I love verse number 7. And this is what I want you to focus on today as you're praying for the minimum of your 8 minutes today. Verse 7 says, the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and He delivers them. I can go before God today and lay my request down before Him, trusting that the angel of the Lord encamps around me. Why? Because I fear God, I honor God, I reverence God. And the promise from God's word to me is that the angel of the Lord literally encamps around me, and He delivers me. He'll rescue me. He'll save me from my enemies, from my troubles, from my doubts. I want to encourage you today as you slice out these 8 minutes of your day to seek the Lord. Do it with this understanding that God's promise to you is that His angel is encamped around you, encamped around your family because you fear Him, because you honor Him, and He promises to deliver you, to rescue you, and to save you. Enjoy your time in prayer today. God bless.
Healing our soul.